Hello and welcome to Keith's World of Photography. I thought I'd put this movie together just to give you a little insight into what I do and how I do it. I've noticed a wee trend lately about basically people are more interested in pricing rather than what they're going to get in value for money. So I just thought maybe I'd throw this thing together and just see whether we can maybe convey to you exactly where I am at and give you a better picture. So that's me, and yeah, I scrub up pretty well. I'm roughly 50 years old now, and I've been in this wedding photography occupation for roughly 20 to 25 years. So I've got a fair bit of water's gone under the bridge, as you can imagine. So in this presentation, I'm going to explain what I offer, the photographic gear that I use, and then we'll finish up with how much I charge. So let's get started. I think maybe wedding photography, I don't know where you are at, but I feel that wedding photography is stuck in a rut over the last maybe 10 years. That hasn't moved far. It just seems to revolve around photographs and photo albums and wall hangers and prints. And so I'm just trying to take a new, or carve a new track, really. I don't know if anybody else is doing what I'm doing, so this is pretty new to the wedding fraternity, should I say, and I think it's pretty cool because what I'm doing is creating more of a should I say video DVD presentation type of thing where it becomes more entertaining rather than just a whole bunch of photos thrown in an album. So what I do is I shoot with some pretty ritzy gear, and I'm shooting tethered mainly to the iPad, where the images are coming straight out of the back of the camera and they're loading straight onto the iPad. The other thing I do, which I think is real cool, and nobody else is doing this that I know of, I'm actually making movies prior to the wedding. So if you came in, say, 6 months before the wedding and booked me, I would then go off and shoot your friends and family, get their side of the deal, and find out all the dirt on you two, really. And then I'll make up a movie or two movies, maybe three movies with these messages. They're really special because really think about this. I'll go and visit your grandmother or grandfather, or your parents, and this is say 6 months before the wedding. So you've got this footage prior to the wedding. So if anything ever happened to any one of your family or friends, we've got it. And even though they don't turn up at the wedding, or for some unknown circumstances they weren't able to make it, or they were killed or died or something like that, you've got some very, very valuable footage which you would never have got otherwise. So that's one of the special little extras that I do for you that no one else is doing. It used to be in the what it is these days, a bridal shoot, or an engagement shoot is the big deal, and so I've just taken it that one step further, where I actually go out in the field. I'll drive wherever it takes, or I'll do whatever it takes to get this footage and make up some special messages that only you will get to see on the day of your wedding. And so that's something extra which I do, which really is invaluable. So yeah, so getting back to the iPad, I shoot tethered to the iPad. So yeah, as the photographs are taken during the day, they're downloading onto the iPad. And the cool thing about this is I'm able to give you my the iPad there and then on the day of the wedding, pretty much just after you've cut the cake or just after the meal's done. I'm handing you your iPad, and all your images and the movies that I've made prior to your wedding are all loaded on there. So you take this away with you on the day of the wedding. So here we are, you're in your hotel or motel somewhere on your honeymoon, and you've got all this stuff there and then. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait 2 or 3 weeks when you come back from your honeymoon to see your photos. They're there, right there in your hot hand. and you can share those with your friends and family. If you've got an internet or wireless internet at the hotel room, then you can upload those and send them, do whatever you like with them. I know they're only small images, and I've kept them small so that they don't overload the iPad, because the memory in those things is only around about 64 gigs, so they're not going to hold a great deal. But bear in mind that when you come back from your wedding, I'll have all your DVDs and your photographs made up, and you know, it's business as usual in that sense. So really, I'm offering something that's really out there. This is cool stuff, and you know, you get to see this stuff right after the wedding. So that's more said. The other thing I do is some real cool slideshows. It's a bit sticky, but so I go to a lot of effort to make some real cool slideshows that you can use, and these are made prior to the wedding, so you can play those up on your big screen at the wedding if you want to. I don't know why this is all jerky, but I think you get the idea. So we'll move along. The other thing I do is movies, and here, this is what I'm talking about when I go out and shoot movies prior to the wedding, and I get special messages from you and your
just get on so well, you know,
about your partner.
Stupid idiots that laugh together and.
So this is something different.
First time, you know, just love you to bits. You're my rock. Just got down to one knee.
I get to hear what it is that really makes you tick.
Dan and I met at the gym, and there were four of us, so me, my friend, and Dan and his friend.
So it's original footage. There's
We were
messages
only
from
supposed
family
to
and
be
friends.
but it just sort of all changed from that night.
So I've interlaced it with some of your engagement shoots, and
And just looked at each
this
other.
is real cool. I love it.
It's
Love it.
Don't take me from the place I'd rather be.
Dan brings everything to me.
I don't know of anyone that's doing that.
If I could, I would, I'd stay there with.
Scraps, Zeus, you guys are on your honeymoon, your wedding, and I'd like to thank you guys for leaving me the keys to your house while you're away.
So that's kind of what I'm doing.
Me and all
I
the
hope you
lads,
like it.
we just wanted.
So after the wedding and everything's all, you know, all the dust is settled, then you can come back, and I would have made up your DVDs and got all your images sitting on a couple of DVDs, and you can take those away and print from them. I give you full printing rights. I don't actually tie you down with, and so you're able to make your own prints, get wall hangers from them, and do whatever you want. I retain the copyright because I want to be able to, as I say, use them for presentations, enter competitions and stuff like that. But I'll always ring you first to say, hey, this is what I'm doing, and are you happy with that? You know, I never spring anything, any big surprises on you. So, you know, I do respect you, and yeah. So, moving on. Also do some pretty spectacular stuff in the album side of things. So if an album or something like that is what you really want, I use a company called Queensberry Albums, and they are one of the best wedding album makers in the world. They make their albums handmade. They've got some pretty spectacular kinds of albums out there that you can choose from. So, and I have an array of albums that you can choose or look through. So that's Queensberry, and one of the best in the game. So getting on to the gear I use, This is not Dick Smith stuff. This is something that you really have to shell out some money to get. These cameras are top of the line Canon cameras, and yeah, money is pretty. They cost a fair bit of money to buy. So when I show up at your wedding, you've got some of the best gear that money can buy. The other thing I'm using to shoot the videos is a camera called the Canon 5D Mark II. Now this is pretty much hot off the press. It's been around for around about 12 months to 15 months now, and it shoots high def, 1920 1080, so that's about as good as you get for high definition. Yeah, so that's pretty good as well. So if you want some pretty high-end videos, the 5D Mark II can really rock out there. So that's some of the gear that I use. Okay, so getting to pricing, how much will it cost? Well, really, a full day's coverage for me is $1,600, but bear in mind that also covers your engagement shoot, and also the hours and hours I spend going around shooting family and friends and making up those special movies that you're going to get as well. So that's all tied in there, so I think that's a pretty damn good deal. So you know, if that $1,600 is a little bit out of reach and your budget's not as unable to meet that, I do offer an hourly rate, and I charge $200 an hour, and my minimum booking is 2 hours, so it's going to cost you $400 to hire me to do your wedding. So I'll turn up for maybe your ceremony and maybe an hour at reception, something like that, and I'll put together some crazy stuff for you, and also put it on the iPad so you can take it away. So that's me, and I hope you enjoyed this little presentation. And if you need to contact me or ask me a few more questions, you can contact me on Keith McNabb at slingshot.co.nz. And bye for now.